Stephen, 2019, really good year for the under-21s. These are the fixture lists that you started with. How did this layout come about?
Well, first of all, the fixture list is not an open draw, it's a negotiation. And I think it was a deliberate intent to play more matches, to get momentum. We're fourth seeds behind Iceland, Sweden and Italy. And I think we're trying to get momentum early on and try and lead the group. I think, obviously, over the previous couple of decades, it's been difficult to qualify because, I think, so we've had to adopt a different strategy. Try and lead the group from start to finish. And that's what we tried to do. And I think put ourselves in contention because you have to do something extraordinary to qualify because, Italy are such strong favourites. So we loaded the matches, played 7 games, where the other teams were playing 5. And, and 6. So we loaded the games, 7 games in that season. We're the only team to play in March. We insisted on a game in March. So you negotiate your fixtures. You go into a room with everyone and it takes hours. And you just negotiate your fixtures, and that's the way we did it.
Apart from the first game, Luxembourg, you have double headers there, September, October, November. They're all home and away. Was that something that you were conscious of, that you didn't have back-to-back home games or back-to-back away games? Was that a difficulty for you?
Yeah, of course, but you can't get everything you want, and I think that's we didn't get we got most things. We got Luxembourg at home in the first game, Italy away in the last game. That's the strategy, and I think we wanted, for example, we didn't get everything we wanted. We had to play Sweden at home after the arduous trip to Armenia, which was difficult. So that wasn't part of the plan, but thankfully that worked out. But so we got the best situation that we could get.
Okay. You started off obviously with Luxembourg was the first qualifier, but before you got there, you played a home-based squad, and this was a chance to look at the players from the SSE Electricity League. Yeah,
we had a home-based squad, not in the international window, trying to get more players, increase our talent pool. Obviously, we see them with their clubs every week. What are they like in training camp? We had a 4-day training camp where the players come in, train together. We played a match against the amateur international team, and just to get a closer look at everyone at close hands. In this game against a lot of players emerged. Darragh Leahy in the squad, who played an important part. Neil Ferrugia here, you see him left side to give us natural width from UCD. 2 UCD players named Scales. Who played an important part in the campaign. And there's Zach Elbassedi, who's been terrific for us. And this is where they started, this is their introduction. And this game was, a training game really. But
Stephen, the Princes play here, this is ahead of the Luxembourg game, but would these be generally the Princes will play that you
I think what we want to do is with minimum time in with the players. We never met them before. First time meeting them, we got a game in a week's time, just to articulate some ideas, quick ideas, before we went out on the training ground and trained. So just quick ideas. For example, the goalkeeper starts attacks. We know that maximum distance between players in possession, maximum distance between centre backs and full backs in possession. Always look to pass in front of players. Something that doesn't happen that frequently, Mm-hmm. Centre backs pass in front of centre backs. Midfield players pass in front of centre backs and in front of full backs. Full backs receiving the ball on the move rather than full backs being too high and have to receive it and check. Always full backs receiving it on the move. Balls in front of full backs. Midfield players fluid. Players interchange of positions. We always play with 3 in midfield, whether that be whatever the configuration is, but to have that fluid interaction where players are not static in 2 holding players and 1-10 or 1 and 2. We want fluid players being able to interchange. Always 5 attacking players. I play with always 5 attacking players. Okay, that's not including my fullbacks. So if that's including my fullbacks, that could be 7, and that's what we're looking for. Dominate possession and inject tempo. What does that mean? You can put anything down, but you dominate possession for. You're looking to dominate possession, and how do you inject tempo on the training ground? Like you're looking to string passes together and then play maybe off one pass, first touch,
and early
quickly.
Balls.
1-2s, fast 1-2s quickly, and or pass into the front player quickly, and inject tempo. If teams are sitting off us, and we're struggling to break them down, it's knowing when to sort of play that first time pass into the front, into the centre forward, or into our attacking midfield players, or into our wide players coming off the line, and quick one-touch passing injects tempo. Fullbacks and wingers not the same lines all the time. We want fullbacks narrow and wingers wide, or wingers wide and fullbacks wide. So we always want them so they can play angled passes and 1-2s and create space for each other rather than being in straight lines. Very important. And we want the players to understand that early on. Attacking players always positive. You know, utilise their creativity. One player's been really creative, and that's crucial as well. Always looking to have 3 players in the box attacking crosses. If we right winger going down the line, we're looking to get our centre forward and our left winger always in the box. And if your number 10 is the next one to get in, also if we're playing 4-2-3-1. But if he's involved in the build-up and can't get in the box, there has to be one of the central midfield players getting in the box. That's why I speak about 5 attacking players, and that's very, very important. So the opposite winger, number 8 or number 10, getting in the box. Again, the opening game against Luxembourg.
Can you talk about this set? What did you work with set pieces?
No, I think it's down to individual players there. I think obviously Adam was getting across the front, but Adam's only 18, and here he is working back. Look at this, the work. This is what we're talking about, winning the ball back, centre forward, winning it back. Conor Ronan.
Then you break.
The way to pass, this is creative. Look at the run from Neil Farouj, and look at that dinked finish. Great finish. Again, the ability to counter-attack here. You see Adam Ida laying it off. This is classic number 9 and 10 play. Conor Ronan. Great way to pass for Adam. Again, Adam only 18 years of age, coming in and getting 2 goals on his under-21 debut. Brilliant finish.
It seems it was quite a number of years that the under-21s had played in the Toulon tournament. Why did you want to go there?
I think it's a very prestigious tournament. All the great players, like we were saying, Cristiano Ronaldo, Zidane, Henry, you know, some great Brazilian teams have played in this over the years. You had who's who of players have played in the Toulon tournament. It's been a great development tournament for them. Obviously, you can see the group: England, Portugal, Japan, great teams, France, Brazil, and the group we were in, of course, was eclectic, like with Mexico, China, and Bahrain.
And these were under 23 teams you were playing against as
well. You know, they're preparing for the Olympics. All these teams are preparing for the Olympics, and it's something that we would never consider as a nation. It's never in the conversation, because you've got to qualify for the European Championships. It's hard for European teams to qualify, but for China and Mexico won the gold in London. It's a priority in their football development. Messi and Neymar, of course, have played in the Olympics, and these are Olympic teams for Tokyo. So we're in a tough group.
Obviously, Gus Hiddink, China. Gus Hiddink, really successful coach. What did you expect going into this game, first game against China?
Yeah, Gus Hiddink, you know, a tremendously respected coach worldwide, which has achieved so much, and we knew that China would be very well organised, and the results suggested that in the tournament. And you know, this is preparation for them going to Tokyo, and we had to make sure. It was a bit of a trip into the unknown for us, but we had the perfect start. Again, we've scored straight from the tip-off, some brilliant pass and movements. Aaron Connolly, very direct, making his first under-21 appearance and pulling it back, and Zach Elbassedi finishing. And you know, I must admit, in all the years I've been managing, that's never happened before, so I would never take credit for that. That was absolute just brilliant play from the players. Second goal came quickly, you know, to score 1 in the first minute, to be 2 up after 6 minutes. We could never have dreamt of that. And certainly great finish again by Aaron Connolly. You know, he really announced himself, making his under-21 debut, having such an impact so early on. We can see the goal. We speak of the Chinese being small technical players. They're not. They're physically strong, great in the air. They punished us there with that header, and that was a lesson for us. Thankfully, we got better in the second half, and you know, under the rules now with the handballs, we benefited from that, you know, in unnatural positions twice and 2 penalty kicks. So you know, the players were relentless, and you know, it was interesting to, you know, it was a great start for us to win 4-1. Obviously, apart from our ability on the ball, I think Mexico really play out a quite progressive, really good footballing team, a lot of talent. We've got to stop them playing out as well, and we can force errors if we do that. And I think here, you know, you see them, the way they set up players in the box. The new rule that just came in the summer, players in the box. So they're looking to play out. Again, good pressing from Adam Ida and Zach Elbassedi here, and forcing them back, and just forcing errors early on and pinning them back and not letting them out so easy. I think was important in that game. It's an important game for us to win the cup. Jason Malumbi breaking forward here, and that's the kind of, this is an important game for us in the group. We knew that Mexico were the best team in the group, and it was a very, very important game for us.
How hard was it to keep that tempo up, the pressure on them?
Yeah, well, it was a 6 o'clock kickoff, so it wasn't an afternoon. Simon Power here breaking quickly. So, I think the players' work ethic was really exceptional, and created a lot of half chances without getting real clear-cut chances in the game. Aaron Connolly again adapting well to the left wing position.
Do you think you took Mexico by surprise at how you approached the game?
I don't think they would have been that surprised because we'd beaten China 4-1 and they would have watched that, but I think they gave us a level of respect, and it was evenly contested overall, and but we had more chances for sure. It was a good experience. It was a really good experience for the players, and a draw meant it was all to play for in the last game.
Obviously into the game against Bahrain now. What's the approach here?
Yeah, again, a different type of team, Bahrain, a technical team. We scored from a free kick early on. Conor Ronan scores a goal, but Bahrain had good real counter-attacking team, but we showed a lot of skill, but we didn't take our chances, of course. We missed a penalty in the game, and thankfully we managed to win the game, and we needed to win the game to win the group, and that was important. There was a lot of good play in the first half, link play between the players, the midfield players and attacking players, and we just couldn't get that second goal.
Obviously the mighty Brazil, it's we haven't played against them too often at many levels with Ireland. How daunting was this?
It's the first time we've ever played Brazil in our history in a competitive game as a nation. I stood behind the goal in Lansdowne Road when Liam Brady scored against Brazil, all right, to win a friendly match and to win 1-0. But a competitive game at any level, we've never played Brazil. So this is a great. They obviously were hot favourites for the gold in Tokyo. Just a really exceptional team I thoroughly enjoyed watching, and I think it was going to be a great experience. And overall, Brazil were better than us, but it was our fourth game in 12 days. Physically, it took a lot out of us. I think we learned a lot, and it was a great experience for us playing. Now that they play Brazil, the best team in the world at their level by some distance, they're really an under-23 team. No other team in our group in Europe were as good as them, and the players could take confidence from that.
Stephen, you've come back from the Toulon tournament, really good experience, and now it's back into the qualifiers. Home, Tallaght Stadium, really big crowd.
Yeah.
How important is it to have that big crowd there for the guys to come into now?
Well, it's a record crowd now against Armenia in Tallaght. The public are starting to connect with these players. It's becoming an event to play for the under-21s, and that's what we wanted. We wanted it to be special to play for Ireland, play for the under-21 team, and I think it's great to have a good crowd there in Armenia. We played well, created a lot of chances. Again, a lot of players coming in for the first game. Gavin Kilkenny from Bournemouth coming in for his first game. Troy Parrott making his international debut at 17 years of age for the under-21s, and it's a lot of good play. I think we've improved now. We've pushed on from our first game against Luxembourg, from the Toulon tournament. Greater understanding between the players. Here's Connolly, Aaron Connolly, of course, on the left. He gave the right back a third time really, and did really well. And some good chances in the game. Armenia on the break, we had to be careful. There was nothing guaranteed.
The directness of Connolly is quite noticeable here, isn't it?
Yeah, he was a handful all night himself and Troy Parrott. You see Troy, his goals on Troy, and he certainly on his debut got into some great chances, playing in a position he doesn't normally play, which was in the number 10 position. He's an orthodox number 9. Here's Aaron Connolly again. We had to adapt. They're all strikers. How can we get 3 main strikers into the team? And you have to find room for good players. Here's great play from Aaron Connolly and a brilliant finish from Troy.
Was it a deliberate tactic to get the ball to Aaron as much as possible?
Yeah, Aaron was terrific on the night, Aaron Connolly, and he was a standout player on the left wing. And to get 3 forwards, obviously there's still a threat, Armenia. I think to get Aaron Connolly out of Maida and Troy Parrott into the team, 3 centre forwards, that was. So they adapted. Troy played as a number 10, but he was a threat, a goal threat. It's a new position for him.
Yeah. And for yourself as well, to get the 3 points, crucial.
Yeah, we would have liked to make it more comfortable for ourselves, but I think it was a really good performance, and you have to take, if you get a chance to get 3, it's just important you don't drop any points.
And next up was Sweden.
Yes, Sweden had Svanberg from Bologna, playing for Bologna every week, 5 million they bought him for. They have Kuzelewski, who plays for Parma every week. A good team, Sweden, but it was a really excellent game in Sweden. It was such a barometer for us, such a challenge. I think they took the lead. Svanberg, again, a good finish from his point of view. So we had to go from a goal down in that game. That was a real test for us. But we never compromised on how we would play, and we had belief to play 4-4-2, to get that pass in between the lines with wide players coming off the flanks was critical. Conor Coventry playing really good forward passes. We were 1-0. Troy Parrott just come off the bench here, and instant impact really. Even though we were 1-0 down, we were playing well, so we just had to keep playing, the way we were playing, and wait for the opportunities. We missed the penalty, and again we got the goal. Troy Parrott, brilliant finish, and it's a great feeling. And I think the game is in the balance, Sweden and ourselves. Then
this is another special goal coming up from Troy, then, isn't it?
Yeah, this one here is a chance for Jason breaking from the midfield. Darley gets in, Jason Malumbi misses that header, but he did a terrific game, and he puts in a great corner kick here for Conor Masson on his birthday to score that very important goal, and brilliant header.
Now you have a little bit of magic.
Yeah, this is what Jason Malumbi passed into Troy Parrott, and you fancy him to score always, and he comes in. It's just such a brilliant finish, and a great way to win 3-1 away in Sweden.
You fought back from 1-0 down. You've had a couple of good chances there, a couple of nice goals, and what a way to finish it off. Yeah,
I think the players showed their composure under pressure, because we were creating chances. We'd seen Sweden beat Scotland, seen Sweden beat Norway, and beat Finland, so they were in really good form coming into the game. And I think the fact that we were missing chances and we still had the belief to go on and win showed great conviction in the team. And it's credit to the players, because they backed themselves and they kept going. Their attitude was tremendous, and they showed great pride in playing for their country.
But also to win on the road against a higher ranked team.
Yeah, no, they made a statement with that victory, that to go away to Sweden and win was very important.
So you mentioned it at the start with the draw, Stephen. With Italy are one of the strongest teams at this level in Europe. They've got a great record, and you can see some of the names there. Tonali is, highly rated. He's going to go for a lot of money. Keane signed for Everton. Catrone's at Wolves.
Yeah, listen, great game for us again. Italy, Pellegrini and Tonali dropped down they were in the senior international team, and they've dropped down to the 21s. They were flying out Tonali and Moise Keane after the game to the senior squad, to link up with the senior squad. So they took us seriously as opponents, because they were bringing back senior internationals to play in the game. And all their players are playing every week. Bastoni played for Inter Juve the week before at centre forward, marking Ronaldo. So really, really good team. Interesting tactically, very interesting the way they set up. And I think we've seen, for example, Pellegrini, the left back, played very, very high, and that was interesting that he played nearly with the left back playing as high as incredibly high, and two holding midfield players in Locatelli and Tonali, and so they treat both sides of the pitch unequally. You know, I think you know that threat. They isolate Moise Keane on the right wing, but on the left wing, Scamacca comes off the left flank, supporting the striker, and then their left back Pellegrini pushes on a mile, and you can see there that's they always have two central midfielders behind the ball. And that's the threat that they pose. The left winger comes in so narrow, who's going to pick him up?
Yeah.
And that's the challenge. Is your right back going to mark him? Is it one of your centre backs? Is it the midfield players? Who marks the left back? Do you get your right winger to play nearly as a semi right back when he's marking Pellegrini? Or how do you adapt to that? So those are the tactical challenges that we had to face, and it was very interesting.
You're back at Tala as well. Another huge crowd.
It's sold out 3 weeks in advance for an under-21 international. First time it's ever happened, and there's just great interest in the players, and they've really done well.
And we can see from the clip here with Pellegrini wide, as you mentioned, he's so high up the pitch. That's something that you wanted to kind of shut down. Yeah,
like this is where we nearly get caught, and obviously very good possession based team. Tonali in possession finds Pellegrini. 22 million to Juventus, so he's put a cross in there for Pinamonti to head wide, but again we've let him cross too easy. They have a high press. Look how high they press us.
Yeah.
But the space over the top, and Adam Ida gives you that. We've paced in the team, and that was important. Troy Parrott nearly gets on coming in from the left here. So tactically we had to adapt. Troy played in off the left in this game, and because we had to match up with 3 and 3 in midfield against their 3, and certainly they could overrun you for sure.
Was this a much more physical game?
No, very, very tactical. I think it was important for us to try and dominate possession and establish possession, and even if we had to slow the game down to do that and inject tempo.
How important was it for you to keep the tempo going, that you're the home team?
Yeah, I mean, you know, I think the tempo was dropped now into the second half of this game. The first half was frenetic. Zach Albacete getting at Pellegrini here. Puts a great cross in, great little back heel from Ida, and Troy Parrott. We're so close to taking the lead there. Like, that's terrific play here, but they're always a threat. There's Keane on Pellegrini, Tonali, all top players. Here's the right back Ajapong striking it, and again Cuivian makes a good save, and so Jason Malumbi nearly wins it for us with a free kick. And you know, it was 10v10 now with
Troy's gone off.
Troy Parrott and Moise Keane getting sent off. It was 10v10, but our substitutes made an impact. That's the way we felt. You know, we're just looking for that goal, but still been patient in possession. Jason Knight gave us good energy and coming on, and he nearly breaks the deadlock here.
Overall, how do you view that game?
Overall, delighted with the application. The players, I felt it was a very, very good game for the supporters to watch. A very technical game, very great learning experience for the players. They played Brazil, the best team in the world. Italy are in my view, one of the top 2 teams in Europe. They played Brazil. They played the best team in the world. So they've nothing to fear once they played that. They played Italy. I think we should have beaten Italy, but we could have lost the game also. So it was important we didn't lose the game, and we still kept ourselves in contention, and a draw was okay.
We see from this game, Troy is starting to emerge now as much more of a influential player for you. So then for him to miss the next game.
Yeah, it was a big loss losing him for the game in Iceland, and I think you know, he really is a centre forward with Aaron Connolly moving on as well, and Troy moving on. Now we've had to readjust the team. Troy has played in different positions as we used him off the left in that game, so he could link up with Adam Ida from the left side. So that's a different challenge from him, one that he adapted to quite well.
So at this stage of the campaign now, you've gotten some good results. You're starting to build a little bit of momentum, but it's a different challenge going away to Iceland, isn't it?
Yeah, a couple of changes. Cameron comes in. Cameron, under 19 player, Cameron Ledridge from Southampton, Michael Abafemi came in. We lose Aaron Conley, we lose Troy Parra. So we have to adapt. I think Iceland, the difference, the challenge is we played in front of a full house in Italy. There's only 30 people at this game, in an afternoon game in Reykjavik, on a windy AstroTurf pitch. So we've got to get our head around that. But we are prepared, so that's not an excuse, because we've prepared accordingly and we've trained accordingly, and we are. So that is not an excuse. We have to overcome these things, but they shouldn't be obstacles. But Iceland are a good team, very good team also. And
it's an artificial pitch as well.
Yes.
Does that cause problems?
No, I think the wind was a bigger factor, but this was a controversial penalty, to say the least, given against us by the Moldovan referee. And as we see, the ball strikes his back rather than his hand. So it's it's they go for you or they go against you. He's given a yellow card and subsequently sent off. So it's we go a goal down, and Iceland defend deeper, and we struggle to break them down, to be honest. But we've had some chances, and they were very, very well drilled defensively. I think we needed to take one of the opportunities that we created, and we just couldn't do that.
So you've just come back from a long trip from Armenia, Sweden at home, and they've just beaten Iceland. What's your view going into this now? Well,
we know that we've had such a long trip. 3.5 hour flight to Moscow to Dublin. So there's 5 flights we've had. We've got to play Sweden at home. They've had a full week to recover. They've hammered Iceland in the last camp 5-0. So we've beaten them in Sweden. So they're determined to turn us over, and we're expecting that. We know that they're going to come out of the traps at us. We've taken a lot on with the fixtures, with the extra fixtures. But psychologically it's given us an advantage, because we're 6 points ahead of Sweden going into the game, even though they've matches in hand. So if we can win, it puts us in a really strong position.
You have the bonus of Troy Parra coming back.
It's an unusual situation. Troy Parra come back the day of the game, having been with the senior squad, and someone of his quality comes back, you have to play him. And so we're delighted to have him.
But it wasn't.
It's unusual.
But it wasn't a great start for you, really.
No. Gyökeres does well. Our centre backs are a bit exposed, and they take the lead. And we nearly created our own problems, and they had some chances against us, Sweden, and deservedly they could have went 2-0 up. So we started the second half, really well. The half time was a big turning point for us, and we came out of the blocks. Leo O'Connor scores one of the goals of the season, really. Right back, starts it and finishes it brilliantly, and it's just a brilliant goal from him, considering he started the move from his own box.
We start to see Conor Ronan coming into it now and having a big influence after coming off the bench.
Conor Ronan was hugely influential, there's no doubt about it, and I think Liam Scales came in at half time, 2 changes. But Lee checks his run. Even though he goes there, he holds his run.
It's clever play, isn't it?
Very unusual for a fullback to do that. And we knew that they'd big centre backs, low crosses, clever crosses. Zach pulled it back for Adam Ida to finish brilliantly here. So it's relentless ways of attack now, and Conor Ronan very influential. Great pass again to put Troy Parra in. Troy's a lot to do here, coming in from the left, but finishes, and it's a great response to being 1-0 down at half time. But we didn't stop. Players kept going, and again Leo O'Connor's raiding all day, and we've other chances, and I think that's credit to the players that we didn't try and manage the game. I think we were committed to attack, and Conor Ronan played a big part second half, and great cross for Zach to finish and to win 4-1. Listen, we couldn't have envisaged that at half time. hadn't played well at all in the first half. Big difference between the game in Sweden, where we played well for 90 minutes. We didn't play well at all in the first 45. And the players, that to me, they show greater character there, coming back from an indifferent first half to play as well as that in the second half and put us, finish the season off on a major high. It's great that it's in our own hands. We've got a difficult game against Iceland in March and away to Luxembourg, two pivotal games. So the motivation is to try and get that home victory against Iceland, and with the game against Luxembourg following that, it's a big month for us. If we can do that, we can win those games. It can guarantee a playoff and take it into the final game against Italy to try and win the group. But Iceland will be a tough game in March, and one that we have to get ready for.
At the very start of the year, you wanted to extend your player pool. You've done that. You've introduced a lot of players to under 21 level football. Some players have gone on to get senior caps as well, and they've clearly taken on the style of play and the mentality that you want to impose in this team.
It's been a big year for the development of the players. Played 12 under 21 internationals in the year, 12 full competitive internationals, and that's a big season. It's unprecedented, and good crowds connecting with the players enjoying playing for the country, learning a lot about themselves, and the euphoria of winning for Ireland. It's great feeling for them, and they can take that into March, into the two games in March.